Finding the perfect place to live in Kansas City can be challenging because it isn't just one city. It's a collection of neighborhoods and smaller cities that blend together in an unexpected way. One street has century-old mansions and lush boulevards, the next, dive bars and mid-rise lofts. Drive 10 minutes and you're in a quiet, woodsy suburb that still feels like it's part of the city. So how do you figure out where to actually fit in? In this video, we're doing a deep dive into the neighborhoods and communities that make up the real Kansas City experience. Whether you're looking for walkability, space, community, or that next up-and-coming hotspot, I've got you covered. Oh, and be sure to download my relocation guide in the pinned comment below if you're considering a move here. It's packed with essential insights that'll give you a deeper understanding on what makes up the true Kansas City experience. Let's start up north. Now, if you're new to Kansas City, the Northland might sound a little vague, but for locals, it's a well-known region with its own identity, its own rhythm, and some of the most rapidly growing neighborhoods in the entire metro. The Northland covers everything north of the Missouri River, and it's home to a wide mix of communities. From walkable, urban-feeling areas with breweries and co-working spaces to peaceful, family-friendly neighborhoods full of new construction and quiet cul-de-sacs. What ties it all together is this: people are moving here fast. Whether it's for schools, the space, the value, or the access to downtown and the airport, the Northland has become one of the go-to choices for people relocating to Kansas City. We'll start with the closest thing to downtown on this side of the river, North Kansas City. Now, despite its name, it is its own incorporated city. I know, it gets confusing. If you're looking for walkability in the Northland, this is probably your best bet. The streets are lined with breweries, coffee shops, co-working spaces, pickleball courts, and a growing food scene that rivals anything south of the river. A lot of young professionals end up here, especially folks who want city energy without the downtown price tag. Housing ranges from older homes with character to newer townhomes and apartments, and prices have been climbing, but it's still one of the more affordable urban feeling options in Kansas City. Now, as we move west, the vibe changes. Things start to open up, and that's where you'll find Briarcliff and Briarcliff West. These neighborhoods sit along the bluffs with winding roads and some truly scenic views of the downtown skyline. This is where you go if you want that tucked away feel, but still want to be 10 minutes from dinner downtown. Here you'll find mid-century homes that have been beautifully maintained, as well as newer custom builds tucked into the trees. It's a quiet, upscale pocket of the Northland, and people who live here stay here. That said, it comes at a price. Briarcliff is not the most budget-friendly option, but it's one of the few parts of town where luxury and convenience actually overlap. Fun fact, Chiefs star tight end Travis Kelce used to live in Briarcliff before he bought his estate home down in Leawood, so it does have a little bit of that star power feel to it. Now, just around the corner is Riverside, a small but growing community that's really starting to catch people's attention. I just helped a client go under contract on a new construction home here that's slated to be completed sometime at the end of this year. For a long time, Riverside has flown under the radar, but lately you're seeing new retail pop up, new construction communities, trails being extended, and early signs of revitalization taking shape. The KC Current built their training facility here, and Live Nation is building a new 15,000-seat amphitheater right across the street. The housing is a mix of older ranch-style homes and brand new builds, and it's one of the few places where you can still find decent value if you know where to look. The vibe here is quiet, but not stagnant. There's momentum. If you're someone who's okay being a little ahead of the curve, Riverside might be a great long-term play. Now, as we move further north, the neighborhoods open up even more, and that's where you start to see the classic Northland image that locals think of. This is where Staley Hill, Shoal Creek, and other master plan communities start to really take over. These areas are newer, with most of the homes being built in the last 10 to 20 years, and they're designed with families in mind. We're talking community pools, neighborhood events, trail systems, and access to some of the highest rated schools in the district. The downside? There's not much in the way of nightlife, and you're definitely not walking to your favorite bar, but for people looking for a modern home, a big backyard, and a sense of community, this part of the Northland is exactly what you're after. And here's the kicker: compared to other mid-sized cities, even within the metro, the price per square foot here is almost shocking. If you're moving to KC from somewhere like Denver, Seattle, or Chicago, this can feel like a steal. People call it a forever home area, for a reason. If newer construction isn't your thing, or if you're working with a tighter budget, then Gladstone might be the perfect fit. Gladstone's a bit more established. The homes are mostly mid-century ranches, the streets are quiet, and the vibe is very residential. It's not a place that's chasing trends, and that's kind of the appeal. It's stable, it's affordable, and it still keeps you close to all the action. There's also a bit of a cultural undercurrent here. Community concerts, events in the park, and a civic center that's surprisingly active. It's not flashy, but for a lot of people, it's home. Then we have some sleeper neighborhoods scattered across the Northland, places like Northland Fountain, Maple Park, and Antioch Acres. These don't show up on any top 10 lists, but if you're a first-time buyer or someone looking to renovate and build equity, they're worth checking out. Older homes, mature trees, good bones without all the premium you'll pay in trendier zip codes. They're not as polished as Briarcliff or as new as Shoal Creek, but they're solid. And in any city where value still matters, that counts. So what's the bottom line? The Northland gives you space, it gives you calm, and it gives you options. It's probably not where you'll move if you want walkable nightlife or high-rise living. You'll probably be in your car a lot. Public transit is minimal, and depending on where you land, it can feel a little disconnected from the energy of the city's core. But if you want to stretch out a bit, if you want a home that feels like a long-term move with good schools, solid neighborhoods, and a little breathing room, the Northland is one of the best places in Kansas City to do it. It's not trying to be flashy, it's just livable. And for more and more people making the move to Kansas City, that's exactly the point. Next up, we're heading into the heart of the city. But before we jump in, make sure you're subscribed to our KC Scene newsletter linked in the description. This is a great resource if you're looking to stay in the know about all the latest events, developments, and real estate trends. Now let's head to the center of it all, the urban core. This is where Kansas City feels most alive, most complicated, most historic, and honestly, most misunderstood. The urban core is the beating heart of Kansas City. It's where the city began. It's where some of the biggest shifts are happening right now. For people moving here, this is the part of town that either pulls you in completely or feels a little intimidating. Partly because of how dense it is and it's constantly evolving, and it doesn't always make sense on paper. You'll see neighborhoods with multi-million-dollar renovations right next to blocks that haven't changed in decades. You'll find streets where one side is gentrifying fast and the other still feels stuck. But if you're looking for culture, character, and the only in Kansas City energy, this is where it lives. So let's start with the part of the urban core that gets the most buzz, especially for newcomers. We're talking about the Crossroads Art District. This is Kansas City's creative engine. First Fridays, warehouse galleries, rooftop bars, boutique hotels, it's all happening right here. The vibe is distinctly urban with loft-style apartments and condos tucked into converted buildings. And while it's a popular pick for artists and entrepreneurs, it's also a favorite for remote workers and young professionals who want to be in the mix. The downside, it's not cheap. Rents are high and buying here can be a challenge, especially if you want space. And look out for those HOA fees. But if walkability and culture are at the top of your list, Crossroads delivers. Just to the north, things shift slightly and you'll find yourself in the River Market. This is a neighborhood that sits right along the Missouri River and is home to the City Market, one of the oldest and largest farmers markets in the entire region. It's a little quieter than the Crossroads, but still full of life. You've got coffee shops, lofts, bike trails, and quick access to the streetcar, which connects you back to the heart of downtown in minutes. It's a great fit for people who want urban living, but maybe not the full-on downtown chaos. Think city vibe without the constant noise. Head west and you hit one of KC's most unique pockets, West Side. This is a small neighborhood, but packed with personality. It's where you'll find some of the city's best Mexican food, modern architecture squeezed next to century-old homes, and a real sense of identity. Westside is also where you'll feel the sharpest contrast between old and new. Some homes here sell for over $1 million, others haven't changed in 100 years. The neighborhood's evolution hasn't been without tension, but for many, that raw, real mix is exactly what makes it special. Next, let's shift east over to Hyde Park. If you've ever dreamed of a tree-lined street and a historic home with a massive big porch, Hyde Park might be calling your name. It's full of early 20th century architecture, and it's one of the most community-oriented parts of the city. The neighborhood has a grounded, almost timeless feel. It's close to cultural anchors like the Nelson Atkins Museum and UMKC, but it never feels overrun. If Crossroads is the trendy cousin, Hyde Park is the wise older sibling with great taste and deep roots. From there, you'll naturally spill into Union Hill, Longfellow, and Beacon Hill. 3 adjacent neighborhoods that are quietly becoming some of the most interesting places to buy in the urban core. Union Hill is a little more polished, think well-maintained row homes and townhouses with great downtown access. Longfellow and Beacon Hill still have more of that up-and-coming feel. You'll find a mix of fully restored homes, new construction, and properties that are still very much in transition. This area is especially appealing for people who want to be close to the action but still want a single-family home. And while it's not quite as walkable yet, the bones are there and developers know it. Heading to the northeast side, tucked into the hillside, is Pendleton Heights. This is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Kansas City, and it's got the Victorian architecture to prove it. Massive homes, detailed woodwork, and a layout that winds and curves in ways that remind you you're not in a master plan suburb anymore. Pendleton Heights has a strong community and grassroots vibe. You'll see neighbors organizing events, maintaining community gardens, and working hard to preserve the neighborhood's character. For people who want charm, history, and a chance to add their own mark, this is one to watch. And finally, let's talk about Kansas City's east side, specifically the areas along Troost Avenue. For decades, Troost has been known as Kansas City's dividing line, a painful legacy of segregation and redlining. But today, that narrative is starting to shift. Take Trustwood and Manheim Park, for example. They're starting to see real investment. Homes are being renovated, new construction homes are being built on long vacant lots, and families are moving in. Local businesses are popping up, and longtime residents are working to make sure that growth is thoughtful, not just another round of displacement. Now, it's not uniform, there are pockets to it, and it's not finished. Some blocks still feel stuck, but others are turning the corner. If you're open to being part of a neighborhood that's actively rewriting its story and you understand the responsibility that comes with that, these areas offer both opportunity and meaning. So what's the takeaway? The urban core is where Kansas City shows you its full range. The energy, the tension, the beauty, the complexity. It's the part of town that feels the most city, but also the most personal. You'll need to be thoughtful, you'll need to explore beyond the listings, but if you're looking for a neighborhood with soul, and you're okay with a little noise, a little grit, and a whole lot of character, the urban core might just be where your KC story begins. And lastly, let's head south. If you've just visited Kansas City, there's a good chance your first impressions come from downtown or the Northland because that's where the airport's located. But here's the thing, some of the most beloved neighborhoods in the entire city are actually right here in South KC. This is where Kansas City shifts, just a little. The skyline fades out, and in its place, tree-lined streets, big front porches, and a blend of urban convenience and suburban calm that's hard to explain until you see it. This isn't the outer suburb sprawl. These are city neighborhoods, but the vibe, it's quieter, greener, more established, and for a lot of people, especially those moving here for the first time, it strikes the perfect balance. Okay, so let's start with some of the heavy hitters, Brookside and Waldo. These are 2 of the most desirable neighborhoods in Kansas City. And yes, they're often grouped together in the conversation, but they each have their own personality. Brookside is classic, elegant, a little more polished. It's the neighborhood everyone falls in love with at first sight. Wide boulevards, 100-year-old homes with real architectural charm, and a shopping district that's straight out of a storybook. You've got cafes, florists, bookstores, ice cream shops, all walkable, all local. Living here feels like being part of a community that's been doing things right for a very long time. And with the trolley trail running through it, it's one of the few neighborhoods where biking or walking is a practical way to get around. The homes here are pricey, but they hold their value and then some. Waldo, just to the south of Brookside, has similar walkability and charm, but with a slightly more relaxed everyday vibe. It's a little quirkier, a little louder, and the houses are a little bit smaller. You'll see craftsman bungalows next to mid-century ranches, older corner bars next to fresh new bakeries, and the local pride here, it's real. People who live in Waldo really love Waldo. In fact, the slogan in Waldo is "Keep Waldo Weird." The commercial corridor along Warnell and Gregory is full of energy: breweries, taco joints, vintage shops, bike repair, dive bars. It feels local, lived in, and active without trying too hard. Waldo also tends to be slightly more affordable than Brookside and a little more flexible. So whether you're a first-time buyer, a growing family, an empty nester, Waldo can make it work. Now, heading a bit further south, the city starts to open up. The homes get bigger, the streets get wider, and the urban feel starts to blend into something closer to suburban. But it's still inside the Kansas City limits. This is where neighborhoods like Red Bridge, Mission Lake, and Verona Hills start to show up on people's radar. Take Red Bridge, quiet, residential, and full of mid-century homes with plenty of square footage. It's one of those places where people move in and stay for decades. You've got great access to 435, a growing shopping hub, and trail access to parks and nature. It's a little under the radar, but once people discover it, they get it. Then there's Verona Hills, one of the most established neighborhoods in South Kansas City. The homes here are larger on bigger lots, and here's the thing. Right across state line is Leawood, and if you bought a house the same size on the same lot just a half a mile away, you're gonna pay $200,000 to $300,000 more. Now down near the edge of the city, Martin City is starting to reinvent itself. It used to be mostly industrial, but in recent years, it's seen a wave of new investment, restaurants, shops, and a surprising amount of new construction. For people who want to stay in Kansas City proper, but still be ahead of the curve, Martin City might be the move. It's still emerging, but there's energy here and room to build something new. So who is South Kansas City really for? Honestly, a lot of people. Young professionals who want community but not chaos. Families and empty nesters looking for walkable streets. Buyers who want more space without giving up the benefits of city life. It's not as vertical as downtown, not as brand new as the Northland, but it's established, accessible, and deeply livable. And if you've asked people who've been here a while, they'll tell you this is what Kansas City really feels like. So here's the thing about Kansas City. It's not just one city. It's a patchwork of neighborhoods, each with its own rhythm, its own story, and its own version of what a great life can look like. Whether you're drawn to the quiet space of the Northland, the historic heartbeat of the urban core, or the balanced neighborly streets of South KC, there's a place that fits you here. No city is perfect. Every neighborhood has trade-offs, but what makes Kansas City special is that for its size and affordability, you really do have a ton of options. And they're good ones. If you're thinking about making this your home or finding a new place to plant roots, we'd love to help. You can book a call anytime with the team down below, and be sure to watch this next video here if you want to know about the latest real estate trends across the metro. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.